Thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at how to remove a tip off a graphite shaft. The same will apply removing a head off a graphite shaft of an iron or something like that. So we're going to have a good look at what tools you probably should use and why you should use them. So basically we've got graphite shaft just with a generic universal adapter today that I'm going to show you how to remove. Now, a lot of people ask me, before we talk about removal, a lot of people ask me what glue they should use when gluing things on. So, and some people just use a cheap, generic Bunnings style glue. The problem with that, is that it can take a lot of time and heat to get this off. So, I'm going to show you how to remove this one with the glue that we use here at SGT and have a little chat about that. So I used to use a Mitchell puller. It's packed it in after about 10 years of daily use. So it was a really, really good machine. I'm waiting for a new one to come. But that's, the thread just went. It's a beautiful big machine, but now this doesn't move anymore. The thread's had it. So I'll probably go to another Mitchell. But in the meantime, I've used one that we sell here, a fairly inexpensive one. It's down here. It's a golf mechanics machine. If you get around this side, you'll see it's quite a nice little machine. I've mounted it on a block of wood just to lift it up a little bit because I like to work at a certain height. We've got a clamp here to clamp down the shaft. So when I put this shaft in here, I find the appropriate width, one of these, which is that one there. I put that in and I clamp it down. And I just clamp it down with my hands actually. I don't use... Comes with a tool here. You could clamp it that way, but with hand pressure's enough. And then I would just place the tool back on here, and then it's kind of ready to go, right? So I'll turn this gun on now. Now we use a Bosch gun here. It goes up to 630 degrees. It'll take a few seconds to heat up. But what you'll find with a good quality glue is that this won't take very long to heat, okay? And the thing about graphite shafts is they're made out of carbon and glue, basically. The carbon's glued together. So if you think about it, if you're having to use a heat gun for 2 or 3 minutes to get the tip off, there's a good chance that graphite may start to break down, the glue might start to break down, and then the shaft's had it. So this gun's now ready to go. And I could probably count the seconds, but it doesn't take long at all. That's probably 15 seconds. And I'm going to start to just slowly just feel for when it's going to go. And it's already gone. So maybe 20 something seconds in, and then I'll just wind it, okay? And I'll wind it all the way off. Now, I probably should, I probably should have grabbed the pliers here. It's always a good idea to use the pliers, only because I can probably hand wind that now. There we go. And it's come off, okay? I've just wound that out by hand in the end. Now the reason I use the pliers is sometimes there's a little bit of pressure in the shaft and that could just pop off, right? And I've got a window here, so I don't want to burst the window for the sake of not using some pliers. It's also a little hot, so I can apply a little bit of water, cool that down, it's ready to go, okay? Ready for cleaning. Now the shaft, because I've only clamped it by hand, there's not going to be any damage here. And what we're left is a tip here like that, like such, okay? Now I'm going to give that a little wipe. Literally just wipe it off, and it's fairly clean. I'm just going to grab my my drill over here, and the last thing that we want to do, if I'm going to reinstall another tip, I've got to make sure that there's no glue in the end here. So I've got a really fine drill bit, and then I will make sure there's a hole, right? So we've got a clear, hopefully I've got a clear passageway of air from there all the way down the shaft. I get some compressed air and I just blow here. And you can hear that air's passing through. So now, without even needing to sand this tip here, it's pretty clean. I might give it a tiny little go on the belt here, just to remove any little bit of dry glue that's left. I don't want to sand that down too much. I see these tips all the time, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller because people have been a bit heavy-handed on the sanding. So really light sand, and now there's air that will go through at either end of this shaft, okay? Now if I don't clear the air, or clear a passageway for air to get through, when I put the next tip on, it's likely to just ease its way off before the glue's dried, okay, because there's too much pressure under there. So that's basically what we do. Little golf mechanics tool here. We sell them, $2.99. Good product. I've been using it for a few weeks now, and I kind of like it. I'm not sure that I'm going to get the bigger Mitchell, but who knows. But that's basically how we do it. Now, like I said, if you're using a cheap glue, it's not going to be 25 seconds of heat. I could pull this adapters on and off this shaft 20 times and the graphite would be fine. If you go with cheaper glue, I suppose that's the risk that you take, that it could take 2 or 3 minutes of heat, and then that shaft starts to expand and it's had it. So there we have it. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you click on like and subscribe. Let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see, and we'll see you in the next video.